What's up guys, it's Lucky and I'm back again to continue with HTML. I know I've taken quite a long period of time, but trust me, I've just been quite held up with a number of things, and I'm sure you have actually ventured into a number of HTML tags, and in this tutorial I want to continue, but I'm gonna do something very different. So I'm gonna be talking about something called HTML web forms. So we use forms to get information from the users. For example, if a user want to log into an account, then you will have a login form where the user will put a number of credentials and they will be granted access to that account that they are using. And many are those when fronted developers, they are asked in their companies, organizations to say, all right, we want to have a form where people can be applying online for anything, just an example. So you as a front-end developer will be like, yeah, I can do that. So for those of you that are venturing into HTML and practically you're planning on becoming really good web front-end developers, this is your video if you want to know how to make web forms. So I'm going to give you an example of a form, a login form. I'll just do that. So what we do here is we are going to say, for example, the University of Zambia, they have their e-learning platform. I'll do that so that you can see this. So what you're seeing right here is a login form where I can put some credentials and I can log in. These are the credentials that I'm talking about. So if I do that and do that, I can be granted access to this form. So this is a platform of the University of Zambia and I've been granted access like so. So right now, enough with me talking, let's just go ahead and create our own form. So if I go back like so, okay, yeah, I want to log out. Okay, we have these. So this is a form and these are called input fields, and they are called input fields because they are used to put some credentials. We are inputting something which is going to be checked in the database or something like that. Now what I want to do right now is just go ahead and minimize this, go on the desktop, right click. I'll just create temporary folder. I'm going to call it forms like so, and I'll open up this like so, and I'll just create a template in here where I'll say okay, forms.html like that, hit enter, and we have that. Great. So right about now, just go ahead and double click, open it up, and minimize this for now, cancel that, and I'll open up Sublime Text like so. Okay, don't worry about this. I'll just go ahead and cancel this. Okay, so I want to open up the folder that I've just created on the desktop. I'll click on File, Open Folder, and it's on the desktop. I'll just come right here and I'll find Forms, do that and select the folder, and we have the folder. Inside the folder we have the very template that we've just created called HTML forms. So I'll just open that up and I'll write HTML like so, and we have the template. So here I'll just say forms like so. Great. Okay, so if I do this, I can just go ahead and minimize this like so, and I'll also open this up, minimize it so that I have these things right on the same browser. I'll do that. Okay, and I'll also have this right here so that we can be seeing whatever I'm doing. I'll do that, try to maximize this a little bit, and I don't have to be changing pages. So if I save this, refresh this, and we see right in here we have forms which we have written in the title. So I'll go ahead, inside the body, that's where we're going to write our form. Okay, we have actually seen how the form looks. For example, these are input fields, and this is what we want to be creating in our own page. So I'll go back there, and the first thing that you want to write is just the word form, the tag form. So I'll just do that, hit tab, and we're going to have the form. There are a couple of attributes that you can put in here. For example, action. This is actually based on the backend development, the page that the person will be handling the information that will be putting into this form. How would that take it? Which form is he going to use? So you can have something like index.php, you put it in here. And the other thing is the method. But these are actually very unnecessary right now for this video because it's kind of beyond of our scope in this video. So I'll just go ahead and ignore this. Okay, like that. So in between, that's where I want to write our input fields. So the first input field that I want to show is just the same one that we have seen here, this one. So how do we create that? So you just write input like so. I want it to be somewhere here like that. I'll just say input and tab. Then we want to tell, you see that it's coming with different attributes inside, the type, the name, and all that. I'm gonna explain this right about now. So what this type means is that there's a number of different information that we can be entering in these input fields. We can enter something called a text. For example, if we have my name Makanta, if I do that, this is a text, right? It's just a text. These are not numbers or something. It's not a password. So you want to tell the browser that, okay, the user should be entering texts. So you come here and tell the system that we are entering the texts. Then here, what you want to do is, it's something that we won't be using as front-end developers called a name, but it's necessary for the back-end developer. This is what the back-end developer will be using to capture the information that the user will be putting. So, for example, if you are a front-end developer, you just say, okay, what are you going to put? This is a name. It's identifying, or it's helping the back-end developer to grab the information that is being put into the system. So here for us front-end developer, well, it's not necessary, but for the back-end developer, it's really important to put. So I'm going to say name. Now if I go ahead and save this, refresh the page, you are going to see this. This is an input field. Now look at the behavior of the input field. If I click here, it's bringing this because these are some of the inputs that I've been putting into this field. So if I come here on the name, on the form that we are just creating, if I click, and it's bringing exactly the same, some of the things that I put, you see. So this is how the input fields behave. But how will we tell the user that what we're expecting you to put in here, it's not an email but a name? So what we do is just right above this input field that we have created, we put a label. So you just come here and say, okay, label, and you tell the user that, all right, we want you to put a name like so. And when you refresh, you have name. This is what you're going to have. Really simple, right? So we have the label, which is telling the user that we want you to put the name, and you are now specifying in here the type that what you want you to put is the text. And what I like doing is linking this label and this input field. So there's what we can call an ID. So I'll just come here and say ID. Okay, let me just bring these things just behind a bit. so that we can have enough space. Okay, like so, and this to just start from there so that we can have space. So we have an ID right here, so just say ID, and now this ID is for this input field that will have a name, so you can just say okay, this is also a name, and here there's another attribute that you can give it called for, and it's for which one? Is for this one, for this ID name, so you can just say name. And now notice, if I refresh this page, if I click on the name like so, it takes the focus into this field. So regardless of the space that can be between these two, the space, these two, they will be linked. So if I say BR, like so, a couple of BR tags, another one, I'll save this and refresh. You realize that this one is quite far away from the name, but these two, they are linked. So if I just click on this one, it's bringing the focus in here to say, all right, you're supposed to put the name. So that's one of the usage of the ID. So just do that, and for now I'll just save this. Okay, come back here, I'll just put a BR tag to have some space underneath another field. So here what we're going to put again, it's an email. So an email, it's also another important type that you can put into the type. So you just have the label like so, then you say, all right, this is an email. If you want, you can say, but let's just leave it like that. Then underneath this one, you can have an input field. You do that, and you say email. And here we have the email. If you want, you can say mail, doesn't matter. And the ID, if you don't put, it's okay to work, but I just like connecting the two, so I'm going to say email like that. And in the label, you can put for and say email. Trust me, no one is expecting you guys to know, to master these. They're quite a lot. I actually tend to forget these tags, but Google is your best friend. If you want to remember these, just know how they work, and you can go on Google, and you have these things. So just like I always say, you are not determined to be a good web developer by remembering these tags. There are actually hundreds of them, so just know how you can use it. So we have this, and if I go ahead and refresh, we have two input fields. So we have the name, we have the email. So the other thing that I want, but you realize that there isn't a difference between the two. But if I do this, I leave and I put the cursor right there, it's telling me that please include an @ in the email address. It's because that's the way we write emails. This is not an email, right? This is not an email. There's the @ missing. So it's reminding me that, and the reason why it's telling me that, it's because of this. We've told the system that it's the email that we want. And I just want to put something again called these will obviously be submitted. So what I want to put is just the submit button. What I'm going to do is input, so we want a break tag so that we can having this nice space in between this space. So what we can do is just put a break and another one, a break. Then underneath I'll just put the import tag and do that. And in the type now, it's a submit button that we are creating. So the only thing that we're going to do is say submit like that, and the name is submit. These are for the backend developers. So if I do this and I go ahead and refresh here, we are going to have this nice little submit button. So if I just put Makanta, the email, say Makanta, okay, I'll just say a at gmail.com. gmail.com, and it's okay now. I'm not getting anything because this is a full email. I know it's a bit silly, but yeah, it's an email. And if I submit excuse me, if I submit, to see these things in the URL. But great, now you realize that this submit button can be clicked and the form can be submitted, even me, without putting anything, which is very bad, right? Because now as a programmer you are allowing people to submit empty forms. So what do you do to make sure that people really submit? If they do not put anything, it fails to submit. So you just come into your input field and write the word required, like that. You don't know to put anything, just the word itself, required, like so. And you can just go ahead and reduce this a little bit so that you create space for the text editor. Required, just the word required, like so. In the email again we say required, just like so. Remove this, we save just the word, it's okay, then you refresh. Now realize, if I try to submit, it's telling me that please fill in this field, which is very good, right? So if I try to submit this, I submit, it comes here, input in this field. If I put something which is not an email, it's telling me that please include an ad, which is very good. Now you are making sure that the people that are using this form, they are putting correct inputs. Very good to put. So know how you can use this word required, and also the use of these very types of the inputs that the users are putting. So nice things to consider. So just underneath here, above the submit button, I'm going to create another password so that you will put your name, the email, and the password. So I'll just say label. I want to tell the user that it's a password, so just say password, like so. And underneath I'll just say input, and I'll say this time around it's a password, and there's a difference. So if I come here and I put a password, just above here, if I put, you realize that you're able to see these texts, right? Great. And the reason why we're able to see these texts, because even if the other person sees what I'm typing, it's okay, because it has got nothing to do with the granting of access into the platform. But this is very important. It's the key, because whatever I put in here now determines me being granted access into this. And if I put, you realize that now we are seeing these little dots, because this information that I'm putting here is very vital and it shouldn't be given to anyone. That's the reason why we have these dots, and this is a password. So if we come here and we say, all right, the type is the password, so just say, sorry, come here, we say password, like so, and the name is the password, it doesn't matter, okay. And this, the ID, it's for the password, and definitely this is required, like so. And we just remove these, like so, and a couple of BRI tags just underneath that input field, like so, and another one there. Great. So I'll go ahead and save this, refresh the page, and we have that. So I can say, all right, my name is Lucky, and this is a@gmail.com, and if I do this, it's telling me that input this field. Great. It's because of the word required right here. All right. So again, we say, okay, the password, you realize that now we are getting these little dots, totally different from what we've been having up here. And I don't want to confuse you with a number of things into this video, but for now, I just concentrate on these three, and right after this, I'm going to upload another video that will now continue with a different types of input fields that you can put. For example, I would say we might have different types of music, and we are telling people that, all right, choose the type of music that you like. And that type of music is actually, we have a number of types of music, just choose one. So how can we do? We create a select list. So how do we do that? Well, it's dead simple. What we can do, we can just come here to say, okay, label, like so, and we say music, type of music. We say type of music, type of music, type of music, that's the label. And for, we say music. Great, we're done with the label. Just underneath that, we need the select. Now remember, we want to have a way in which people will be selecting one among different options. So, and I'm using those words intentionally because I want you to take note of this. I've said we need to have options, which is an intentional word that I'm using. Another thing is that since we have options, people should be selecting. Two important words, options and selecting. So this is a label, and the label types of music. We want a user to choose the type of music. So we say, all right, we want to select, so we say select, and we do that. Just underneath in here, we can say, all right, what we have in here is the ID. We do that for which one? For this one, right? Music. So we're going to say music in there. And each select will have a number of options inside that the user will be choosing from. So we are going to say, okay, option, like that. So now in the option, we are going to have different attributes inside. So here we are going to say the value. Now this value is what will be submitted each time the user selects that. So if we say, all right, we have actually different types of music. We have rock music, so I'm going to say rock. Now this one, if I refresh this, you won't be able to see this in the browser. So if I go ahead and do this, we have this. Okay, sorry, we will need actually a BRR tag just underneath the password. So where's the password? It's here, and let me see. Okay, here, BRR tag, like so. Let's see if it works. Great. So now you realize that we only have this type of music, and it's showing this little arrow to say, okay, there should be something here, but what? So if I just submit this, trust me, it's submitting something, but where is that? So here inside the option, what you put in here should be similar to what we are putting, because what we put in between the tags is what the user sees. So if we say rock, what value for this one? So here we're going to have rock music, like so. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this so that it can save us a bunch of time. I'll go ahead and copy this, like so. Copy this, like so. You can paste it a couple of times, like that, and like that. So we have rock music, which is going to be here. Another type of music that we have, we can say we also have jazz music, right? So we have jazz right here, and here we also have jazz. Dead simple, I guess. Apart from that, what type? Also have country music. So I can say country music, country music. Even here should be country music, like so. Here we can have rap. Okay, rap music. We have rap right here. And if you don't want to be doing what I'm doing, like I right here, what you can do this simultaneously. You can just double click here, you press Control, you also right click here. Now if I write, you notice that it will be writing simultaneously. What I'm writing will be written on both. So if I say reggae music, you see it's now being written simultaneously. So I can just say reggae music like so. Go ahead and save this. If I refresh now on the page, we have this, a bunch of options, right? Which is great. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope that you've gotten something, and I'll be very happy if someone just leaves a comment to say, alright, I've really understood something down below this video. And most of these things that I'll be posting, you'll be actually now be able to see them on my GitHub. So I'll leave a link just down below so that you can actually copy this code if you want. So for now, we are done with this video, and thank you so much for watching this video. And right after this one, I'm going to post another video, continuation of these input fields that we can use into our forms. So for now, just to show you what you can do with my GitHub repository that I've created, I'll just, because you'll be able to see these codes that I've written. So what I'll do is just minimize this, maximize this. So this is the form. So I'll just do this. I'll see my GitHub account. You can do that. And really sorry because I have poor internet connection right now. Okay. So you can come on my GitHub account. I'll just create, so I'll create a repository for you, but what you do is you're going to see something like, okay, let me do this. So what will happen when you open up the files is that you'll be able to see something like this when you're using a computer or a phone. But what you can do when you find this, so that one was saved form.html, right? So what you're going to see in one of these repositories is something called form.html. So what you can do, you can click on that link, and you'll be able to see the codes. So this is the code for that, what I wrote. And if you want, you can just click on clone or download. It will give you everything. So trust me, I'll just put the link down below this video, and immediately you can watch the video, see them. If you are facing challenges here and there, you can just download the code and copy it. If you want, you can just download the code. If you want, you can just copy this code and everything like so. You right click, you copy, and you can open up anything that you want. So I'll just reopen this. So this is our code. I'll just say another page. Okay, not that. So I'll say like so. Then we can just go ahead and paste it. Then you have everything that you are going to be seeing there. So thank you guys for watching once more, and we'll meet you in another video. Peace.